Dude, life is full of life lessons. Each and every single day, I learn something new, something that gets me through a hard challenge, but in the end, I come up on top, and the lesson and the mastery that I get in a new skill is just incredible. You see, around 2 weeks ago, I finally finished my whole productivity routine. I finished the documentary that I was watching at that time. I have scripted a new video. I had been active in online communities, so I got a lot of new social intelligence. I read a book. I also watched a lot of manifestation videos, and I was completely satisfied with myself. The atmosphere was going absolutely incredible, and it was finally time for me to almost go asleep. So it was time for me to spend like the last 30 minutes of my day just with my family, just sitting there talking to them before I would eventually drift off to sleep and start another successful and a productive day. But before I got to that, to actually go to sleep, me and my younger brother and my mother, they were playing solitaire with real cards. And I found that very interesting, so I started watching them for a little bit. And then eventually, the game of the solitaire ended. My brother, he laughed at my mom because she lost. And don't get me wrong, my mother is very good at solitaire, so this was a really rare occasion. But this time, they gave the cards to my father so that he could shuffle them. And oh boy, is he a master at shuffling cards. Not because he practically was interested in like magic tricks and stuff like that, but because he just naturally was good at it. Because what else did they have to do during his time when they were like alone on the dam, just swimming there? No, no, of course they were just playing card games all day long. But of course they were still going like fishing and stuff like that. So yeah, they had a lot of time to practice shuffling cards. I mean, it is something very, very easy. So I went over to look how he does it. And of course, it looked effortlessly in his hands because he's an expert in it. He was basically like holding his hand, holding the palm of his hand, basically like straightened, and the other one, he was holding the cards basically horizontally. And he was like slowly throwing the cards on his left hand that was completely, horizontally, like a straight line basically. And he was doing it effortlessly. He was throwing parts of these cards on his left hand, and then he was like grabbing them once again and throwing them once again, and the entire pack of the cards was shuffled in like 20 to 30 seconds, which would take me and my me and my not so good techniques like 3 minutes to do probably. So it was really a treat to look at him do that. And I watched him do it for like 20 to 30 seconds, and I thought to myself, dude, this is so easy. I can even do this right now, even though I've never done it in my life before. But this time, that was gonna change. And so, he handed me the pack of cards, and I just stood there like a statue for 30 seconds. I was literally just trying to figure out, my brain was trying to process what had just happened. It looked so easy in his hands, but actually implementing the knowledge, that was the tricky part. I was analyzing how I should actually go about this, even though it was so easy, and it was literally just two hands involved in a motion that was repeating itself over and over again. But eventually, I started doing something. Of course, it wasn't completely 100% as he does it, but it was something. I wasn't throwing the. You see, what I was doing is that I formed like this V shape in my left hand, and I basically grabbed the back of the cards, still horizontally like he did with my right hand, but I wasn't throwing the cards in there, bit by bit. I was basically like throwing half of the pack in there, then I grabbed like one third of the half of the pack, and basically like, I was constantly switching and switching and switching, and of course, I still got good at it. And yeah, I was still getting better and better at it, but of course, after like 5 minutes of me doing it wrong, my father decided to show it to me once again. And when I finally noticed how I should actually do it, it was smooth sailing from there. And of course, I still made some mistakes. Sometime the at some point the cards literally went flying from my hand onto the floor, and of course, I still grabbed them like nothing had happened, and I continued to shuffle them with all of the passion in my eyes. And on that day, I, I went to sleep with a smile on my face. I had finally learned how to shuffle cards. And oh boy, was it exciting. Now I could finally play card games without being embarrassed that I cannot shuffle them. Which, yeah, it is a happy memory that I still hold to this day. Now, when it comes to each and every single skill, there is always a golden rule that each and every single skill must abide by, and especially you will have to face it whenever you try to master a new skill. This was just a small example in a sea of infinite examples. You see, when it comes to anything like boxing, chess, speaking a language, playing a musical instrument, talking to other people, singing, it can be literally anything. There's this mastery rule that always applies to each and every single one of them. You see, mastery takes around 10,000 hours, right? We've all known about this metric, but do you actually know how the ratio between learning and implementation actually works? It's actually very interesting. It is 99 to 1%. And what I mean by that is that you must spend 100 hours learning that skill. I'm not saying practicing it, I'm saying learning. So actually sitting down and reading a book or watching long form educational videos about a subject. So like actually learning as if you were in school. And then you have to spend 9,900 hours implementing that knowledge. That's how it works. That's how mastery is built. And of course, shuffling cards isn't something that can bring you money for the long term, of course, but you can also expand it into other fields. You can also slowly but surely make your way into a casino, for example, or being a magician, for example. You understand, right? You can expand it into many different niches. But now, yeah, when we talk about skills like boxing, for example, of course, that makes a lot more sense to this video. Like, for example, of course, Mike Tyson probably studied boxing for more than 100 hours because he's a total master. He's like a master plus at boxing. And of course, he spent even more than 9,900 hours just practicing it day by day. You see, this 10,000 hours mark, you will reach it probably in like 7 years. But like, imagine how much it will, just imagine how proficient you will be at it, like decades down the line. And that's why you need to have these greater visions. You must look forward decades into into the future. You must literally think about the events that you're gonna be doing with the mastery that you're building right now. Literally, when you're gonna be like 80 to 70 years old. That's how much you have to look into the future. Because I know that this huge mark when it comes to the 10,000 hours may seem a little daunting and a little frightening that you probably won't be able to reach it anytime soon. But trust me, when you embrace the long term, so you embrace all of the mistakes that can happen to you, when you embrace all of the challenges that will come your way with a passion on your face, that you're actually getting somewhere and that you're actually learning it, that you're finally facing some kind of a motivational issue so you can overcome it and be stronger than ever before, you will be way more fulfilled than if you just said fuck it and you went to scroll on YouTube for another 5 hours like a useless goblin. You will finally have something going in your life. You will finally accomplish something that can actually bring you money for the long term, something that can bring you such stronger relationships for the future. Because living life is part of the most important skill on self evolution, which is adventuring, not just adventuring into nature, but adventuring into other skills, new opportunities, new people. You understand what I'm trying to say? This skill is completely inevitable, and each and every single skill falls under the mastery rule, which is you have to study it for 100 hours and then implement it for 9,900 hours. And that's exactly what I plan to do with learning languages, with playing the ukulele, with, for example, uh, doing martial arts. You understand what I'm trying to say. Of course, I will expand my uh like basically I will niche down into all of these skills. So I won't just do ukulele for the rest of my life. Of course, I will go into like guitars. I will basically like move on to kickboxing, eventually into like Muay Thai boxing and other of these martial arts. I will expand into more languages. I won't just learn Italian. I will learn also Spanish and French. So yeah, you will surely make it in life. Like so many good opportunities are coming your way. And with the mastery that you're building right now, you have nothing to worry about because whew, life holds many treasures that it will give to you if you just wait long enough and if you continue to grind. So be patient, embrace the challenges, and embrace the fact that eventually you will have to change your goals because shuffling cards won't be enough, and eventually you will have to expand into other skills like being the uh, card shuffler in a casino for poker or something like that, or a magician, or you understand what I'm trying to say. You will eventually have to niche down if you truly want to make money out of it. Okay? So embrace the challenge. If you want to learn about healthy mindsets that will guarantee success in the long term and in the short term by mending your mental health and bringing you on the right path, no matter what, no matter the life test, no matter the goal, then I highly suggest that you should go check out Timeless Readers of Mindsets in the description. It is truly something life changing, and you would be an absolute fool to miss out, especially with the discount that is happening over there right now. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you.